Okay, one of the key achievements I think is that we carry Neotel, which is really a direct competitor to Telkom, which is a fixed line operator. Mm-hmm. We carry all their traffic on our network. We are able to maximize a lot of new entrants, particularly in the internet type of environment, internet solutions, those kinds of companies, as well as the incumbent mobile operators, the guys that grew phenomenally across Africa and in South Africa, the MTNs and those kind of guys. We carry their kind of traffic. And they can use us as a competitor, and that's been able to bring costs down. Wholesale costs or intercity costs have dropped dramatically. 75%. We're predicting that price will still drop quite significantly over the next few years. Market forecasts indicate price decline still continuing. But what we have noticed is that they haven't necessarily passed on those costs directly to customers. What they've done is they've packaged more for customers. You can get more for your bang for your buck. But basically what they want to do is they want to hold on to the revenue. And so you just watch what's happening in South Africa. Look at the adverts. You'll see they package the data bundles together with internet bundles together with voice. And in that way they're trying to just enhance the content of what our offering is as a mobile provider. And these are the big players. This is where the money lies. Fixed access, there is some corporate money there, but basically mobile is where a lot of the revenue lies. Basically, as you in a more globalized world, communication becomes the basis under which you operate. I mean, if you look at the global companies in South Africa, foreign direct investment in South Africa, it's predicated on the basis that I can communicate with New York, London, Tokyo instantly. And if you look at where the frontier in growth is not in automobiles or in trains, etc. It's in broadband access, it's video on demand. It's an ability to expand the proposition of the services that you offer to your mobile phone, mobile banking, access to television on your telephone, your ability to operate your home from your phone. All of that is predicated on telecoms, and that is the new space. That's the new space we're going into. I mean, why does Google want to get into this environment? Why do they want to own a telephone? All of that is predicated on the fact that this is where the new frontier is, and we are just a conduit in providing that frontier. We actually provide the physical infrastructure so you can link from town to town, from your home to somebody's home in London, Tokyo, and New York, from your corporate somewhere in Africa to the same place. And so a lot of what we're doing nationally is based on the fact that South Africa's infrastructure is very sound, but we're now bringing a dual set of infrastructure. Telkom infrastructure, our infrastructure, means there's competition. What there is there's this opportunity to go north. We're going to bring wax in on the west coast. We've already got cables coming on the east coast. Once those open up, the speed of access, the cost of access is going to be phenomenally changed. Already, I noticed this when I stayed in a London hotel not too long ago, is when you're on the internet, in that environment, it's instant. And we're not actually used to that here. It's actually instant. When you click, it's instant. We'll get that as soon as wax is in place and the other cables easy, etc. Once that's in place, the ability to move traffic is just going to be that much faster. And of course, because of this available capacity, the prices are going to drop. The frontier for us is to take this cable access, take South African access, take the value proposition that there's lots of growth in services, and so we can offer data to this environment. So there's huge growth potential for us in South Africa. But what about all these countries that sit just north and in fact further north? Many of them are landlocked, so they don't have direct access to these cables. One of our value propositions for this forthcoming year that we built into our corporate plan is what we call the African Hub Strategy. The African Hub Strategy is to bring cable access into South Africa, leverage the fact that we have huge infrastructure here, also leverage the fact that when you go out, have a quick look, go down the stairs, look to your left, you'll see Unlock. That's our operating center. You'll see a map up on the wall. We have the ability to hub all this traffic from all these countries through our network. We can control that traffic. We can provide services around that traffic. We can become the conduit for these countries. And in some countries, it's quite far north. If you look at countries like Malawi, Zambia, they don't have direct access to the coast. So even if it's a bit different on the west coast now, because we have a lot of access of countries that are coming directly into wax, but a lot of countries, they're going to need penetration into the international market, and they're probably going to come through us. We're going to be closer than actually going through a neighboring country to get to the cables. And our latest set of investments over this year have been to take us to every single border. So we now have access into every single neighboring country. Our next focus is to provide a hub opportunity as we link into wax. Our next focus is to provide redundancy for all these operators, and then to work with players as they move up into Africa. We're basically the infrastructure conduit for doing that. On the one hand, we'd like to take more volume of traffic. I think if we become a real player from a percentage terms against Telkom, who's the incumbent on terrestrial or national intercity traffic, that would demonstrate that we've really made inroads competitively. Yeah. Okay, that's key to being both price competitive and service competitive. That needs to happen. Our network needs to expand. I think the network map, the areas that we have access, we would like to have more access for a few reasons. We can get more access to smaller towns, underdeveloped areas. Secondly, we can provide more redundancy to customers. So if a line goes down in one area, we can automatically just shift the traffic across to another. That's another key reason why our network access needs to be greater. What we would like to be able to say is at an international and at an Africa level, our volume of traffic is just growing exponentially. The take-up is very strong by retail customers in terms of broadband, video, those kinds of services, and as a result there's a lot of data growth. There's a lot of data growth within South Africa. The 5 million becomes, 15 million, 20 million or more. And in Africa, you see that same exponential growth, and you see a lot of international traffic coming in and going out from the country. That's really the platform that we'd like to see. And in fact, that's the value proposition that we're putting on the table. Our value proposition is increase the network, provide redundancy, protection for customers, focus on international customers, and focus on this African growth. We use ourselves as a hub. That's it.
For more videos, please visit www.voicesofsouthafrica.com.